What's up, guys? This is my series with Tatiana where we mentor her to going from basically trying to build a full-time side hustle, earning $1,000 a week. Tatiana, thanks for taking the time again. Why don't we start with a win for the week? What happened in the last week that was awesome?
Absolute win was I definitely I scored some items. As previously mentioned on the last video, I was reaching out to different businesses in search of like hopefully finding some distributor or inventory, and so I was had the idea to message some thrift shops, and so I messaged some local thrift shops in the area, and one got back to me saying, "Yeah, sure, show up on Friday, and I'll be there, and you can just come shop around or whatever." And I was like, awesome. So of course, I Friday I show up and I go there, and I was like, I found some good items, and I'm like, I really want to go big. It was like, it had this feeling of like, let's just go big or go home. I already asked, I already like stepped outside my comfort zone about like contacting businesses if I could show up. And so I'm like, worst he can say is no, but at least best he can say is yeah. So I asked the manager of this particular thrift shop, if I could buy his entire wall of shoes. And he was like, yeah, sure. And so I got everything for around $200, which was like phenomenal.
How many pairs
Um,
was it?
it was uh, roughly 160 pairs.
Wow.
Yeah, 160 pairs. So I was like, oh my God, my boyfriend's gonna kill me. Like, I really just wanted to go big or go home. And like, now I have this relationship with this thrift shop, and he's like totally welcome to have me back anytime. Not that I need more stuff right now. I need to still go through it. But definitely a big win. And I felt really good. And now that I got some inventory again, I can get back on track with the listing game. It feels good.
So let's dive into this a little bit more. I asked you to step out of your comfort zone and reach out to businesses.
Mhm.
How did you do that?
Uh, Basically, I thought about where I wanted to go with my store, and I'm like, I think I want to go with shoes. So I looked at local shoe companies, and that's when I started messaging them. Um, but then I also was watching some of your videos, and you were saying like, now's the time to advertise. Now's the time to put yourself out there. Now's the time to be that person, because ads are really cheap, but also at the end of this, you'll be the first one people come to. Is basically what you were trying to get across in some of the videos. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can be that person for Vancouver. So with the thrift shop idea was strictly so that like maybe I can invite other resellers and like start building community here in Vancouver, so that like people like know that they can come to me, and then we can like, it's just nice having community. So I thought that would be a great way to like build a community, not even just with thrift shops, but also with resellers. And yeah, no, I cannot feel so alone.
No, that's awesome because you messaged thrift stores while they were closed. This
Yes.
particular store, did you email the owner? How did you get in touch with the person?
Basically on Google Maps, I clicked to their websites, and then whoever was the main contact on their contact page, and some people forward me to the correct person. Like even this person's
Wow.
like, no, you need to message Curtis about this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I messaged him, and then he's like, yeah, no, show up on Friday. So there's a few times where that's happened, but for the most part, it's just whoever I can reach at their local web page. Hence why I haven't messaged like Salvation Army or Value Village, because they're like, these big box brand stores. I'm not exactly sure how to go about that. Um, so, but yeah,
So
that's.
So the way this mentorship works, guys, is I give Tatiana some homework to do, and she gets it done before the next week. And so last week was to go to this thrift store and make a bulk purchase, which she did. This week, the homework for you is going to be to download the tool HubSpot. I want you to get the free CRM tool that they offer. It's free for life, and we're going to use this to store all these contacts, all the different Curtises that we meet. We want to put in here so that we can find out where we are in the process. Have we reached them yet? What kind of relationship are we on? What was the last thing we talked about? If he has any kids, what's his favorite ice cream? Everything's going to go in there so that we can build the rapport. And if you have become known as the person, it would be great if they called you and said, hey, we just got a bunch of donations. Do you want to come look through them first? That is the ideal scenario. So HubSpot is a homework for this week. Last week we also talked about looking at your performance tab and seeing how your store is doing. And then I also wanted to touch base on how did listing go in the last week.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, the performance tab. Luckily, I was watching. I pull it up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not understanding any of this. But I was watching your video with Sarah, and you guys were like talking about it, going through it, and so I was able to grasp and understand what I'm looking at here. And also, went on YouTube to find out different, exploratory videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And performance tab. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't exactly know what I was
So
looking for.
I'm going to show you what to look for right now. Do you
Yeah.
have it pulled
Okay.
up?
I do.
Okay, so there's two numbers that I want to know. One is your click-through rate,
Okay.
should be on the top right, and one is the conversion rate.
Okay. Click-through rate 2.1% and sales conversion rate is 2.6%.
That's really, really high. So that's great.
Oh, okay, good. Because like I watched a few videos and like it should be at 10, and I'm like, oh my god.
So it depends on what you sell. Click-through rate would be really high if you had like Gucci, right? Because everybody
Okay.
wants that. So if you had a Gucci shoes that have the classic colors, it's very obvious that it's Gucci. That's gonna have a very high click-through rate because people already know what that is. And so if they see it available for sale, they're going to click on it. And then the conversion rate, if it's around 2%, that, in my opinion, that's excellent. It's like essentially like if 50 people look at it, it'll sell
Okay.
roughly,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that'll give you an idea. And if you have something like Gucci that has really high traffic, that means it's going to sell in one day because
Oh,
it's going to
okay.
have because a lot of traffic plus people really want it. And if the conversion rate is lower than that, that usually means your price too high. And if
Oh,
your conversion rate is way too high, like let's say your conversion rate's 10%,
then is your price probably too low.
probably priced too low because that
Low.
means only 10 people look at it before someone buys it. That's kind of low.
Yeah.
That's like an unusually high conversion.
Mhm.
But there are categories that are like that.
Yeah. Just
I'm
in
gonna
demand and
I'm gonna give you a weird category like that, which is mantle clocks. So
what?
those clocks that are on top of people's fireplaces,
Yeah.
that has a stupidly high conversion rate. Like, you should sell those in one day because for some reason there's not very many of them in the market, and people look for those. And if you have one that's what matches somebody's decor, it's not unusual to see them sell for $300 or $400.
That's
And these are
insane.
things that are like $20 maximum at even in a estate sale. People don't
Yeah.
know what that is, and
No, that
also,
it's
go ahead.
no, no. I was agreeing with you. It's like it's no, you wouldn't think at all. But sorry, go
Mm-mm.
on.
No, I was just gonna say also that's easy to let that sell for $75 because it might be a quick sale, but this is where you want to play with the conversion rate. If there's nothing like it, maybe like a 0.1 conversion rate's fine. Wait for 1,000 people to look at it before someone pays you ridiculous money for it.
Oh, okay.
So performance tab, when you scroll to the bottom of the page, it's gonna go over each item one by one,
Yeah.
and you can look through those and knock it out. So spend some time
Yeah.
there.
I I definitely did that with after watching your video with Sarah, and I was looking at my stuff. And the majority of my stuff, I was like, yay, stuff like I already sold on another platform and I had deleted, and hence why it's got like 0 views. And I'm like, okay, thank
Mm-hmm.
God. Yeah. And but it also brings awareness to the stuff that like I'm like, oh, like I've got 6,000 views on this. Why isn't it selling? So yeah, it's nice to bring light to like where you could improve.
So one more thing before we move to the listing goal, which is you'd mentioned the gatekeeper. If you ask, "Hi, who's in charge of uh, bulk purchasing? Who's in charge of inventory when it doesn't sell?" You ask that question.
Hmm.
Um, there's gonna be a couple of things that people respond with. Who the hell are you? Is one question, right? That's the
Yeah.
main one because their
Yeah.
job is to not bother that person.
Yeah.
And then the next question would, and if you were like, this is Tatiana with Target.com or Walmart.com, they'd be like, oh, okay, then straight through because you have some credibility in your name. But if it's like,
Mhm.
I'm a random person, they're gonna be
Is
like,
what they did
what,
about.
whatever. So you gotta have a good story there. Second would be, oh, that's me. Then you need to have some responses like, hey, this is my store, I'm looking for inventory, whatever. Or they're
Mhm.
gonna say, you need to reach out to Curtis. So once you know all of that, you're gonna be less afraid to make that call, because you're not gonna get responses that are not those.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get one of the three. You just
You're
need
gonna
to
get
know
one of the three.
how to
How to
respond to them.
And if you have those written down, it's gonna sound smooth. And if you see the name on there and you use the first name, this is my pro tip. Hey, can I speak to Curtis, please? Is a lot stronger than, is Curtis Smith in purchasing available? That sounds like you're trying to sell something
Tacky. Yeah,
tacky.
yeah.
So the more you can seem like their friend, the better. Also, I recommend not leaving a message. So don't leave a message. Call over and over again until you reach the person, because if they know who you are, they may screen you. Okay.
Okay.
So HubSpot, I want you to sign up for that this week. And then finally, last thought. And guys, when you are working on, like on a mentorship, or when you're working with a coach, try not to set too many goals, because then it doesn't work that way. You can only do so much in a week. So how did listing go last week?
Listing went really, really well. I've sort of set a system up for myself where I have to take a picture of minimum of 10 pairs of shoes, because in that way I can, like I hit the 10 listings, but also that I don't feel extremely overwhelmed, because I mean, it was a lot of shoes. And fair enough, a good 80 pairs of those I put in bags. It weren't worth anything to me, and I put them all in bags and I sold them off. So I basically turned that load in half. But yeah, about 10. I have 10 shoes. Take pictures of 10 pairs of shoes a day. Sorry, that's a lot of words right there. And if I feel like more, then I can do more. And that's sort of how I've been getting through this listing, which is pretty good.
How many are left in this lot?
There's still about 40 or 50.
Can we get that listed by next week?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to find more inventory now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys opening up soon?
We're hoping June 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here.
Roughly the same. Yeah. Hoping June 1st. So.
Okay. Great. So let's get HubSpot set up. Let's start thinking about scripts. And I'm going to be making a video this week on scripts. That's my most important thing, my accountability thing. So I want that to be strong, because I want people to, um, you know, smile and dial. That is the old school way of looking at it. And if you do this for a while, I feel like the people who have gone through smiling and dialing are the happiest people, because dealing with that much rejection, everything is so much easier after that. Like, it's difficult to get into that habit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. It's that fear, but yeah, you just build the muscle. Just build the muscle. You're just like, oh, okay, next one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to just think about it that way. You're building that muscle, you're building a foundation for that. And then is there anything else that you want to share? What else is going well, or systems that need improvement?
Um, no, nothing right now. No, no, it's just getting those shoes all up, and that's all I got going.
I would like you to set a goal of contacts per week.
Oh, yeah,
And
same, yeah.
I'm going to set that low. So one a week.
Okay.
I'd like you to, one a week, yes, or just getting a hold of one a week.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to put a really low goal of one no a week. So
Oh,
I would
okay.
consider it a success if you reached one person and they said, go away.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. That would be a great place to start. Cool. So then also last thought on that is IBM has one of the most successful sales teams in the world, and they have some of the lowest sales quotas in the world, because they want
Oh,
people to get the momentum. Once they hit their goal, they feel good, they keep going. Most people don't stop after they hit
hit it.
something good.
Yeah.
Just
No,
keep going,
exactly. Yeah.
keep rolling. Cool.
Rolling. I love it.
Awesome. So that's keeping it short and sweet. Thank you again for your time. Everybody, if you are listening at home, come up with 1 to 3 things you can do in a week. Write it down. Get someone to keep you accountable, even your dog, your partner, anyone. Just write down what you want to do. Next week, follow up with that and see if it works for you. And until next time, make progress daily. Thanks, guys.